you've been doing, my friends on YouTube? I'm hoping you're well. Did you do anything fun to celebrate St. Patrick's Day this year, or do you have anything fun planned? St. Patrick's Day always makes me think of one thing in particular. Obviously more than one thing, but it always puts Irish dance back on my mind. So I did a little video on TikTok. My TikTok account, by the way, is under the same name, Phoebe_ASMR. But I thought I could get a little bit more in depth here with you folks at YouTube. If you care to hear a little bit of rambling about an old hobby of mine, maybe if you care to be festive about St. Patrick's Day and learn a thing or two about the world of Irish dance. So let's start off here by looking at my old hard shoes together, okay? So these are my hard shoes, or heavy shoes. I explained a little bit about them on TikTok, as I said. Yes, they are authentically dirty. I stopped dancing during COVID in 2020 after having been dancing for 13 years. And when the world stopped, so did my time being an Irish dancer. So sadly, that meant these shoes just kind of got left dirty after the last performance or last class I took, and they've been kind of sitting there ever since. I've danced in sneakers since, but I don't really like to dance in the actual shoes unless it's on Marley, just because then you can keep them a little longer. And I like to wear my shoes as long as I can because it takes some time to wear them in, and they're a lot more comfortable when you do. So yes, these are very uncomfortable shoes. Lots and lots of blisters, as I'm sure you can imagine. So like tap shoes, they have a hard base at the toe of the shoe and at the heel, but obviously it's a lot thicker. And when you stand on them, you stand on the ball of your foot and the toe, and you can actually press up onto the box of the toe and stand on your toes as well. I'll include a clip wearing them so you can see what they look like on. And here's what they look like when they're on my feet. I'm wearing them with the poodle socks, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. But there are a couple different styles of dances that you might typically see done in hard shoe. Treble reel is one of the most common ones you'll see in performance. In terms of traditional dances, you'll typically also see hornpipes and treble jigs, fast and slow, and then there are also traditional set dances. One of them actually being named St. Patrick's Day. Very typical of us to do that dance when we would perform on St. Patrick's Day. So if you've ever seen Irish dancers dance around St. Patrick's Day, you may have seen them perform that dance. Okay, I also have a couple of different pairs of soft shoes. Or ghillies. This pair of ghillies is my practice pair, so I wore these into the ground, and honestly they've still got a lot to go. They were very comfortable, but the bottoms, as you can see, so the padding So for the soft shoes, I wanted to include a clip of how we tied the soft shoes, or how I learned to at my school. So you can see I actually went under the arch. Some places will teach you that way, some places do not. But then you, at the end of tying a knot, you would really try to tuck in your laces, and it's not the best job I've ever done, but yes, if you were going to perform, you'd really make sure they were tucked in. So this is what they look like on. They're not too dissimilar from like a ballet flat, but obviously they have very distinctive laces. And they all get worn with poodle socks. I can see those coming into fashion someday. It would be cool to see them styled outside of an Irish dance setting. So here are those poodle socks that you've already seen. I'm going to fold one up here in a second. This is how we would wear them for performance. You would actually glue them to your leg with what's called sock glue. But personal preference, I often folded them down when practicing. It was just sort of a style in the area I was in. These are my performance soft shoes. So they are a half size smaller. You really cram your foot in there, and it makes your toe look extra pointed. As you can see, and they are less stretched out, which again helps you to just have this tiny little foot that is very straight and well pointed and has a good arch. But yes, all of these shoes are Rutherford brand, and there are a couple different common brands, but I almost always had Rutherfords. So some common soft shoe dances that you might see if you go see an Irish dance performance are reels and slip jigs and jigs. You might also see a group do a dance in soft shoe all together, and these are very traditional dances that the choreography's been the same over many years. These are typically called ghillie dances. So if you see a group, say of 8, dancing in a circle and performing certain figures, that might be a ghillie dance. What else do I have to show you? We'll do this. So I showed you in my TikTok, the electrical tape. That I had in my bag, and we would use this to tape around our hard shoes. So you would wear your shoe with your sock on, and you would sort of tape along the edge here and over the buckle. You can see where there's been some scuffing and wearing off over the years, but the idea there would be to help make your turnout look even more significant. Do some sticky fingers there for you. And yes, this is authentic. It is dirty, and it has a rhinestone stuck to it. I also have 2 patches from when I attended the Oireachtas. I attended in 2018 and when was this? 2017. I also attended in 2016, but I didn't get an iron-on patch this year, or that year. So at Oireachtas, you can compete in group ghillie dances, traditional dances, there are solo dances, there are more creative and performance-based group dances, so there's lots of categories. When I went, I was in a group ghillie both times and did a couple traditional set dances solo as well. Sorry, a car went by. I did join my university's Irish dance club. So actually one year there was a collegiate level ghillie competition that our college entered, and we went together and competed at that. So that was fun. I'm guessing that must have been 2018 in Louisville. Yeah, I think that's when that was. But I have really fond memories of a lot of different performances that I did. We would always make it fun. I got to skip school for St. Patrick's Day and go perform for other schools in the area, like public schools, sometimes nursing homes, sometimes there would be other events and parades, different bars that, they wanted some Irish dancers, so we would go. And it was fun. It was fun to share something that I loved with other people. So, I think that's most of what I have here with me at my home. My mom actually still has my dresses, so there will be like the school dress that everyone wears that's the same, and then when you start doing solo competitions and you reach a certain level, you're supposed to get what's called a solo dress, which is individualized, very sparkly. Mine, I had two, both had rhinestones all over them. So, that's something that I need to bring to my home eventually, and I would love to share with you a little bit more in depth. I'm sure it would make some good scratching sounds with all of the rhinestones too. But yes, in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day, I wanted to share some of this with you. It was a very big part of my life for many years, and it still is. It's still something I'm very passionate about, even though I'm, out of practice myself. But if you would care to hear me talk about it a little bit longer, I'd be happy to make another video one day. But until then, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for listening. I hope you found it entertaining. I hope that, maybe you learned a thing or two, or, you just found the relaxation that you needed. And yes, I wish you a very restful, peaceful night's sleep, and all of the good vibes and the relaxation that you need. I hope it all finds its way to you, my friend. Alright. Sweet dreams.